Good day guys, nice to have you here. Today we'll talk about the best heroes you can play on the XP lane. Before we begin though, let's discuss first how this list works. These heroes are not tiered nor ranked since a lot of them are technically equal in terms of relevance on the XP lane. These heroes were also selected based not just on how much damage they can deal, but in how well they fare against other XP laners, and on how good they are in terms of lane management, which includes, but not limited to, lane freezing and lane control. Yu Zhong may not be as famous as before, but he is far from irrelevant. He's still one of the most effective XP laners because of his first and second skills, which are both extremely effective in driving away the opposing XP laner after a successful lane freeze. His passive is also pretty effective against most meta XP laners, since it scales according to how much missing HP the enemies have lost, whilst at the same time regenerating lost HP for Yu Zhong. He also has the characteristics of an ideal XP laner. He deals decent damage even with less damage items and is capable of clearing minion waves fast if need be, and has very high survivability, not just because of how he was built, but also because of his ultimate. Masha has been nerfed hard but is still very effective as an XP laner. She is capable of going toe-to-toe against most XP laners, especially against basic attack reliant heroes. She has the largest HP pool in the game and is one of the strongest turret destroyers. Masha may not be as powerful and as well-rounded as before they nerfed her this hard, but she is still one of the best when it comes to lane management and lane pressure. Diroth can be an excellent XP laner as long as you have the right starting build. On the early game, damage should be your number one priority, and make sure to prioritize his second skill instead of his first skill. His second skill is one of the most powerful debuff skills in the game, which is capable of reducing the enemy's armor by more than half. This in turn makes him a threat against any careless XP laner. If you have high and dry with max physical damage and physical penetration, even better. With the right early game build and itemization, he can be very difficult to fight against on the lane. Even tanky meta heroes find it challenging going up against a well-built Diroth because of his ability to regenerate, deal bonus damage, and reduce a hero's armor greatly. Esmeralda is another hero with a skill set worthy for the XP lane. She can produce shields, she can gain lost HP from the shield she produces, and she can be very annoying to deal with since heroes that rely on spell vamp and life steal for regeneration barely get anything from her shield effects. She is excellent in lane pressure and is excellent in denying XP and gold via zone outs as well, thanks to her second skill. Jawhead is not talked about so much, probably because he is usually played as a support. The truth is, as long as he is played properly with the right starting build, most if not all XP laners will find it challenging against him on the lane. He's extremely good in terms of zoning and denying the opposing laner of experience and gold because of his first and second skills, and he can be very challenging to kill as well because of his shield and high mobility. If the enemy gets too close to your minions to get experience and gold, use your second skill and yeet them out of the minion zone. If they're a bit stubborn and wants to fight close and personal, use your first skill and buff basic attacks to overpower them. As long as you know the principles of lane management, lane freezing, and lane pressure, Jawhead will be an amazing pick on the XP lane. It's not just about damage when it comes to him, it's more about strategy and utilizing the second skill to its full potential as an effective displacement skill. Uranus is now considered as one of the most underrated heroes. As long as he is picked against the right opponent though, he can be very annoying and challenging to deal with. Don't pick Uranus against heroes that greatly gain a huge power spike based on the enemy's HP or armor such as Hilda. But against most other XP laners, Uranus can be very effective because of his mobility, HP regeneration, and decent damage output. One mistake a lot of people also do is they purchase supplementary items for Uranus. These are items that enhance a hero's innate ability greatly, however doesn't have sufficient physical or magic defense. A good example is Oracle. Oracle improves Uranus' HP regeneration, and another good example is Guardian Helmet. This also gives him another layer of bonus HP regeneration. On paper, both of those items look nice on Uranus, but those are also the reason why most Uranus players end up with a hollow tank. What I mean by a hollow tank is he looks tanky enough, but is actually very squishy. Giving Uranus items that directly reduce the attacker's damage by greatly increasing his physical and or magic defense is a better idea than getting him supplementary items that provide less or close to zero resistance against such attacks. Edith may not be the best XP laner out there, but she is still one of the better picks for that lane. What makes Edith a good XP laner is the fact that she is one of the most independent. Sure, most XP laners are independent and doesn't need so much help, but Edith is one of the top picks when it comes to independence. Make sure to give her defensive equipment only and choose those that provide tremendous bonus physical defense or magic defense. Doing so will not only make her tanky, it'll also improve her ultimate's damage output, which greatly relies on her overall defensive points. Well, this is something most people never try, but have you considered Inspire on her? Just try it and see the magic. Paquito is a textbook and generic XP laner. He scales amazingly well on the early game, has AoE burst damage skills, and has tremendous survivability and useful control skills. Same as any of the entries on this list, the secret for him in becoming an effective XP laner is by zoning the enemies effectively, and this can be achieved by utilizing his second skill, which is his main damage source. Hilda is now one of the best XP laners in the current meta. They reduced her ability on the late game but improved her early game power spike tremendously. The mechanics of her ultimate was also improved, which made its maximum damage output attainable even on the earlier phases of the game. Utilize the bush as well, which will act as both a hiding spot and also means of regenerating HP, and zone out the opposing laner as much as possible using her abilities. Make sure to get her second skill the moment the game starts and prioritize leveling it next only to her ultimate. This is going to be her main damage source, which is one of the reasons why she is an amazing XP laner now. Valentina is a rare breed of mage. She is a long-range utility mage that gains bonus experience by hitting her enemies with her skills. She also has the traits of an effective XP laner. Not only is she good with zoning out, thus denying her enemies experience and gold, she also gains bonus experience by effectively zoning the enemy hero. This makes the matchup on the XP lane imbalanced, and as long as Valentina doesn't become cannon fodder, the opposing XP laner will remain behind the entire game. There you go, those are the heroes I believe are the best XP laners right now. Do you have a hero you want to add? If you do, who do you think should we replace? Make your thoughts be heard by leaving a comment down below, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay safe everyone. Peace.